Hey folks, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're going to take a look at this alloy tooth tiger. This is a no-name knife that is being sold at a number of places. I got mine from GearBest, just over $50 Canadian, and what is it in US dollars here? 39 US dollars, unless you buy the version that's on sale right now. The version that's on sale has gray handle scales and doesn't have the little notches here on the handle. They also have a gray one with these same notches, embellishments there. It's a decent knife. We've got what they're saying is D2. I think it's Chinese D2 from my testing. A titanium alloy handle, and I think that's probably a steel pocket clip spring. It's a decent frame lock. It's a smaller sized knife, but the blade is over 3 inches. Not 3 inches of cutting edge, but the blade length is over 3 inches, just barely. And decent thickness, good chunk of steel. And it feels quite good in my hand. If you've got extra large hands, you might going to find this a little small. My hands are right between large and extra large, and that's just the edge of what this fits at. And so if you're interested, we're going to start the review in just a second. I do want to make a brief announcement. It's almost Easter weekend, and I've got my kids and grandkids. My kids are grown, 4 of them, grandkids. Everybody's coming over this weekend. It's going to be a fun time, but I won't have time to make videos. So if there's a bigger lull in the videos than there has just been, which is all these little big tasks that I had to do for myself and for the family, for my wife, for everybody. I haven't had any videos come out for a couple days, and in a few days I won't have any more again. Hopefully you'll be able to find something in the history that you might want to watch. But for now, get out a drink and a sandwich or something. We're going to take a review of this thing coming at you right now. This video won't be super long, but as my reviews go, I tend to get over 15 minutes almost always. And I suspect this is no different. What do we have? We've got this probable D2 steel with a stonewash. A high saber grind, which is a flat grind. It comes up about 3/4 of the way up. Decent cutting edge. We've got a forward choil. We've got the finger choil on the handle. And then the handle is very much, even. It comes a little bit narrower here than it is here. Smooth back on the handle scales right there, or the frame, handle frame. Nice big lanyard hole there. One body screw back here, and then the pivot screw, and that's all there is to assemble it together. There's no skeletonizing inside, but I will show you the inside of the knife too. This one's got a white ceramic detent ball, which becomes very obvious when you look inside it. You can see that white dot there, no problem at all. Let's get a close-up of this. Very easy to see in there. And lockup here, as you can see, is very good, exactly where you want a brand new frame lock to engage. It's fully engaged, and there's lots of room for it to wear over in time. No blade play, up and down, side to side, solid lockup, very good that way. The alignment when it's closed, it depends on which way you look at it. There's always weird angles going on with cameras and things, but it is quite close to the middle. It's a little bit more to this side than it is to that side. Not perfect, but quite good. There's that close-up of the handle scales. You can see the beautiful stonewash. Oh, that's just a dirty mark right there. Right there. I just need to wipe that off. The finish on there is actually quite good. Nice big chamfer on this side. Another chamfer all the way around. And access for a thumb stud. What's up with that? There's no thumb stud on this knife. I wish there was, actually. I would like this knife without the flipper tab and just a nice thumb stud. I would find that very nice. Of course, the flipper tab is quite good, very functional. A little bit of jimping on the side right there, so you can connect with that jimping when you're doing that light switch method of just pulling straight back. And so it just works very, very well. The ball bearings are steel, works just fine. You can just sort of push on a slight angle backward, and the blade, well, whoops, I was doing a classical mistake with a frame lock. I was putting my finger on that frame lock arm. But you can just push slightly back and not, mostly down and slightly back, and it'll deploy the blade that way as well. We've got a T6 back here. Oh, I just knocked the camera. Hopefully it's not too shaky for you. Sorry about that. Lock bar insert, steel lock bar insert, so that lockup is nice and solid and doesn't move around on us. I would like a deep carry fold over pocket clip in here. Right now you've got well over 1 inch of the knife sticking out of your pocket. About 3 centimeters, not quite, but pretty close. So let's see what it looks like in a pocket. So here we go. Comes down, and that little lip rides over the edge, no problem. Comes all the way down, and there it is in a pocket. So you do have a fair bit of knife sticking out. I don't really mind. Not a big deal to me, but it might be to you. And if it is, hey, then you don't buy the knife, right? Flat screw back here, but round head screws on the pocket clip, and recessed round over screw on the lock bar insert. Flipper tabs nicely rounded on the edges. The spine of the blade nicely rounded. Stonewash is just beautiful. So there's no jimping on the spine of the blade for your thumb rest area. But grip is pretty solid. At least for me, I can get a really good grip on this. And the forward choil is just big enough that if I put it from my knuckle here forward in that spot, it holds quite well. If I try to get more of my finger back there, then I'm starting to run my finger across that sharp edge right there. Beautiful knife. Okay, let's take this thing apart and talk about all of the dimensions that we've got for this knife. Maybe we'll zoom in just a little bit to do that too. Okay, so all the dimensions. What do we have? We've got a knife that weighs 120 grams, 4.2 ounces. So that's not bad at all. It's a nice weight for a knife. The sharpness of this edge was better than I thought. It tested in at 145. That's grams of pressure to cut a piece of monofilament fiber. And I cut 3 times and averaged it out, and all the cuts were pretty close to the same number. Good and sharp. If you're not familiar with my sharpness testing, there's a link down below in the description area. If you're watching on a cell phone, it's down below this corner, little black triangle that you need to click. If you're watching on a computer, it's down here below, just above the comments, but below the video. You click on where it says show more. All that information is down there. First, I will list places where you can buy this. I bought mine at GearBest, and so I've got links for GearBest for you for this. And I thank you very much if you use my links, because that does help out my channel financially. I get a tiny commission. It adds up. Now let's talk about the lengths of things. The cutting edge is 6.84 centimeters, 2.7 inches. The blade length, so tip of the blade to the first closest spot on the handle, is 8 centimeters, 3.15 inches. The blade thickness is 3.44 millimeters, which is 0.01355 of an inch. So almost 3.5 millimeters. That's a good stout blade, good strength in it. The blade depth. The blade depth right here is 2.82 centimeters, 1.11 inches. And the thickness of the edge behind the grind, 0.55 millimeters, which is 0.0215. And my basic standard is I want knives to be about 0.5 millimeter thick at the edge, and this is just a tiny bit over. Very good. The grind angle. This side is ground at 18.4 degrees, and this side is ground at 17.6 degrees. And so that's quite shallow. I tend to go with this kind of knife at 20 degrees per side, which is a little more angular, gives the edge a little more strength, but 18 and 17 degrees give it just a slight sharper edge. Not bad. When I go to resharpen this, I'll probably sharpen it to about 18 degrees per side, and that'll average out the 2 different angles that we've got on here. Time for the handle. The handle length is 10.1 centimeters. That's 3.79 inches, so basically a 4-inch handle. The grip area in here is 2.7 centimeters, 3.42 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, is 1.26 centimeters, which is 0.494, so basically just under half an inch thick. The handle depth, it's biggest right there, and that is 2.43 centimeters, that's 0.959 inches. And when the knife is closed, that's about 3 centimeters, 3.09 centimeters, which is 1.22 inches, a little bit more when you add the flipper tab. The total length of the knife when the blade is deployed is 18.3 centimeters, which is 7.2 inches. So just over a 7-inch knife with a 3-inch blade, a little over 3-inch, not bad. So the proportions are very good. And let me see if I can give you the balance point here. There we go, the first time out, right where you want it to be. Very, very nice indeed. Let's do the prices first, and then we'll do the pros and the cons. In American dollars, this at GearBest is $39.27 right now. I bought mine at full price. In Canadian dollars, that's about $53.22. In euros, $35.31. And British pounds, it's just about 30.5 British pounds. If you don't mind the gray version and you want it on sale without these marks in here, that one's on sale right now for $33 US. If you like the gray color and you don't mind not having those embellishments on there, you can save yourself 17%, which might be a good amount of change for you. Now let's talk about the pros and cons and everything. There's nothing especially unique about this knife. It's got a fairly typical lock bar insert that titanium knives have, with an over travel stop built in. So you can only push it out that far, and you just can't push it any further, even if you take the pocket clip off. That's good. These aren't locking pins or screws, even though they're smooth on the face side. I had no problem taking them apart, though. So they're free spinning, but they're sitting in there very well. And I think that's because the screw head is sitting against titanium, and that allows it to snug up. They do have steel washers on either side of the ball bearings. Here's a picture of the inside stuff. So those washers in there create a nice smooth point for the ball bearings on both sides. The blade on one side, steel on the other side, and then you've got your titanium handle. So that's done quite well. The detent is quite stout. It's very good. Let me see this. There you go. See that? Just suck it into the detent's holding it now, and it holds it fairly well. You got to get a good grip on it to get it to overcome the detent, so it's not going to open easily by accident or inadvertently. So that's good. I like the consistent coloring on this purple, although the color's a little bit off right here on the end of the handle on this specific one, but the color is still quite nice. I do like having the odd purple knife. Having an over travel stop is a very good thing as well. I mentioned that before already. Decently made knife. I like this sort of, basically I'm calling this a clip point here instead of a drop point. It'd be easy to turn this into a drop point and then get it just at 3 inches if you're looking for a knife that has to be in a place where you've got laws for 3 inches. But of course, if it gets checked on the way into your jurisdiction, you might have a problem. But, it wouldn't be too hard to make this into a 3-inch blade. I have pros and cons about the forward choil. It's made well. It's thick enough back here so it's comfortable. I have not gotten nicked by this at all yet, so that's fine. But I would like it if it was, the full-length cutting edge. They could move the plunge closer to the handle in that case, and then you'd have more cutting edge. But this is not a bad compromise because I do find myself sometimes, getting this sneak-up hold. That being said, all these different grips, doing some precision cutting with it this way, not bad. Using the forward choil, comfortable. Not using the forward choil, very comfortable. Even a reverse grip is very comfortable. A reverse, you can do that for a while too without your hand getting too sore, pulling back. So it's a good knife that's quite comfortable. The cons, I wish it was a deeper pocket clip. That'd be nice. And that's about it for the cons for this knife. If you don't mind the pocket clip that way, you might just want to buy yourself one of these. Oh, I do not like this as well. I don't like seeing the little detent hole on the blade. It's just one of those finesse kind of things. I like the precision of not having to see the little pieces of the inside. So, but not a big deal. It is a budget knife after all. The rest of the cons, I wish it wasn't a free spinning pivot screw, but functionally it hasn't been a problem for me yet. And I've taken this knife apart 2 times. Because the first time I forgot to take pictures. So that's all pretty good. I do like stonewash, so I'm quite partial to this knife. So if you're interested in this, thank you for using my links down below. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing on this video. If you know somebody who would like one of these, share it directly with them. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.